Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I am your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. I'm also a legal document assistant, LDA, based in the greater Los Angeles area. Welcome to Q&A Wednesday. Can mediation magic resolve our divorce disputes? Sometimes mediation really feels like magic. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So let's talk about divorce mediation and see if it'll work for you. So here are some of the benefits that people find like, oh, here's why you should consider divorce mediation. And I'll tell you, this is what a lot of mediators sell as a benefit. But you know me, I'm going to tell you the truth. So let me tell you the benefit, and then I'll tell you if there's a flip side, I'll tell you. So a lot of times, it's cost effective. Mediation is typically less expensive than litigation. Yes, that is true, but it is not free. So don't go into thinking, I'm going to pay the mediator $100 and I'm going to be done with my divorce. You get what you pay for. So while mediators can work magic, mediators also need to eat. So it is more cost effective because you are not wasting your money fighting the other side. You are working together. The other thing is, instead of you paying your attorney and them paying their attorney, y'all are paying one mediator together. If your accounts are still joint, then it's coming out of the main pot. But if you've been separated for a while and you guys got two different pots of money, you pay half, they pay half. It all ends up the same in the end anyway. So it can be cost effective, but don't think it's cheap or free. The other thing is time saving. Yes, 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 it is. It absolutely is. It saves you time because you're more likely to finish your divorce than if you're waiting for a court hearing, because it's hard to get on the court's calendar. But it requires more active time from you. You're going to need to take time off of work. You're going to need to take time out of your day and schedule that meeting. This is why I like mediation. It is virtual. I mean, my mediation, the way I do it. This is virtual, where if you have an hour break at lunch and you have a private office, you don't need to get in your car and fight traffic. You can shut your door, close your blinds, have a private space for an hour if that works for you, and then get right back to work if you're able to do so. Other people go home, they sit on their couch, they got their pets with them. It's a different type of environment. So it can save you time in that way because you're not fighting traffic trying to pay for parking. You can just take a moment out of your day, mediate, and then get back to it. It's less stressful. People are like, this is less stressful because you're not in court duking it out. It fosters a more peaceful resolution. Listen, yes and no. Yes and no. It's stressful to try to mediate. Look, it don't even look like I'm trying to sell mediation, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't need you to go into mediation and be like, dang, this is hard. You didn't tell us that. Trying to reach a resolution with somebody who maybe right now you hate their guts, that is not easy. Maybe somebody cheated on you and then you got to sit with them in mediation and just be like, I want to gouge your eyes out. I'm sorry, am I being too real right now? I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes. Maybe your mediation with somebody who never ever worked according to your standards, never pulled their weight according to your standards, and now they want half of everything. They just want what's fair. Those situations are inherently stressful. Divorce is inherently stressful, but mediation is less stressful than letting a judge decide everything for you. It's less stressful than worrying about how much money am I going to be charged because I needed to call my attorney for 15 minutes. It's less stressful than worrying about how long is this going to take and when am I going to get on the court's calendar? So in those ways, it is less stressful, but divorce itself has stress. So don't think it's just like you're going to go get your nails done and a massage and a facial and you're going to be de-stressed. No, you're going to need that stuff after you get done. Just keeping it honest, and probably a cheeseburger. You need that too. Okay. It's confidential. Yes. Yes. And yes. There is nobody else in your mediation session sitting in the peanut gallery at the court like, you know what? It's just a day at court. I'm about to come into this courtroom and watch all these other people's dramas. It's not public like a court is. So it is absolutely confidential. Don't record. Your mediator's not recording. None of that should be happening. Your new boyfriend should not be on the other side of the screen. Your new girl should not be on the other side of the screen. You shouldn't have them on speaker. Nobody else should be listening. From the mediator's perspective, it's confidential. You need to keep things confidential too. Don't be having a mediation in the living room and your grown child is there walking through the living room. Don't do that. That's a surefire way to end up in court and not settle your divorce. Also, mediation, you have control over the outcomes. Yes and no. Whereas when you go to court, you don't know what the judge is going to do. You don't have a control over what the judge is going to say. But when you're mediating, you also don't have control over your spouse. You can't control them to agree with you, but in general, you have more control over the situation because you can negotiate. You have control when you're negotiating. You can decide what's important and what's not, what you're going to give up and what you're going to keep. So in that sense of the word, yes, there is more control. So let's talk about how mediation can help resolve disagreements. Mediation encourages communication. Open and honest communication. We're not communicating through lawyers. We're communicating directly to one another. Sometimes you need to communicate through me, but for the most part, we're in joint session. We're communicating. You're communicating with one another directly. It gives you an opportunity to express your feelings, your concerns, your needs. Okay. It also helps you to uncover your underlying interest and the other person's underlying interest. So instead of saying, this is what I want and why I want it, you can really go, but why do I want it? Why do they want it? What's motivating them? What's causing them fear? What's their ultimate desire? You have time to think through that in mediation and between the mediation sessions. Mediation, though, it does allow for some customization. If you're like most Los Angelinos, you want some stuff customized. You want that special secret menu in and out. You want those extra nice rims on your car. You want to customize it. You don't want it just cookie cutter off the factory. Just straight off the factory floor. No, you don't want that. You don't want just the judge to be like, okay, this is what I gave this person at 9. It's 12. I'm giving you this. It's 2. This is you get the divorce. You get the standard A+ divorce. No, you want customization, and mediation allows you to do that because you get to focus on what's important to you. You still have to maintain the guidelines of the court and what they expect and what they want and address all issues of your estate, but you can customize the things. This is very important. So then let's talk about how can I make this situation successful? How can I have a successful mediation process? So you want to be prepared. If you're working with a divorce coach, get with a divorce coach. Talk to them before your session. Decide what are the things I really need to talk about? What are the things I can live with and what are the things I can't live with and I can't live without? What are you willing to give up and what are you going, I cannot give that up ever. You need to be really clear. You need to be clear about these issues. You need to come ready to negotiate. You need to have your financial disclosures filed and done. You need to know what money you're working with. This cannot be nebulous. There might be some things you don't know exactly, but for the most part, you need to, since I have mediation sessions and people are like, oh, I didn't know we were going to talk about this today. I'm not ready to talk numbers. No, you need to be ready to talk numbers. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. If you're not ready, we'll switch to another topic. That's totally fine. But for the most part, you want to use that time wisely so that if your spouse is ready to talk numbers, you're ready to talk numbers too. You come to play. Let's do this. Let's get this done. You want to pick the right mediator that you connect with. This is about a personal connection, and usually if one person connects with a mediator, the other person for the most part will, or they'll be like, that's fine. You have to have a connection. You have to respect them. You have to like them. And if it doesn't go well, then don't be afraid to change. Just switch up to another mediator. That's okay too. You want to, if you should have some sort of meeting with the mediator beforehand. Usually that'll happen before you hire them. You want to think about, I wonder if I paid them a little extra, maybe if I paid them for half an hour of their time, could I get a one-on-one meeting with this mediator so I could just talk to the mediator and tell him or her everything I need them to know, everything I'm concerned about, since it'll be confidential? That might be a really good use of your money. This isn't a legal consult. Mediators, they do not give legal advice, but it might be a really great idea so that the mediator knows where you're coming from. Then when you're in the session, really try to listen. What I find helps me, now as a mediator, I'm taking notes, but if it's not a mediation system and a situation and someone's just talking and talking and talking, I have these ideas, I just scribble down notes so I don't forget my ideas. Because it's really important to listen to someone and hear them, but then when people just keep talking and talking and talking, you're just like, dang, shut up. I'm going to forget my thoughts. So if that's you, get a little piece of paper, jot something down so you don't forget your thoughts, so you can listen. And then when it's your turn to talk, then you can respond to them. You can ask your questions. You're very knowledgeable. You're not just talking about yourself. It's clear that you listen. You are showing respect, even if you're like, I cannot stand your guts. The very act of listening, I'm pointing my fingers, I'm sorry. The very act of listening is showing deep respect for the other person. And you'll get your turn to speak. And if your mediator's good, they're going to be like, I'm sorry, it's not your turn to speak. Please don't interrupt. And then when it's your turn, okay, you got your chance to speak and they respected your time. I need you to be quiet while they get a chance to speak. I will do that. Sometimes I feel bad about doing that, but you got to do that, so that everybody gets an equal time to speak. They get to say their piece. They get to express themselves, and the person is not hijacking the conversation. So take notes. Your mediator will guide you through this process. They should demystify things for you, make it really simple and easy for you to walk through this. You got to get yourself there. You got to be ready. You got to be ready to talk about all the things you need to talk about. Have some things that you're willing to negotiate, be ready to make an offer. But let your mediator guide the show. Let them help you both through this, because your mediator wants you to settle. And most mediations settle. Most mediations, 99% of them, reach an agreement. So trust them to get you through this process. If you want to set up some time to chat with me about mediation to see if we might be a good fit, I've put my link below where you can schedule a 15-minute call. Reach out. I'd love to chat. And I will see you next time. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Have a great day.